So GameStop's had a bit of an interesting week, to say the least, when their stock price just skyrocketed when subreddit Wall Street Bets decided to get together and stick it to Wall Street by raising the stock price so that hedge funds and investors who shorted GameStop would just get a bit of a taste of their own medicine. And certainly a lot of hedge funds lost quite a bit of money, pretty prominent hedge funds at that. Now, that's not to say that there weren't hedge funds who benefited from the GameStop situation, maybe competitors to those hedge funds, or that there weren't people who, maybe were looking to earn some money off of all this, but came in too late, bought stock when they were at their peak, and then when they plummeted, they lost, quite a bit of those funds. But for the most part, it feels like Wall Street Bets is a movement to stick it to Wall Street. It's not about necessarily the money. A lot of people who engaged with this movement invested what they could afford to lose and what they were willing to lose so that, they could send that message. And that message was certainly heard loud and clear, as this level of disruption, it has never been seen before. In fact, it's unprecedented enough that, already there's a movie being made about it, according to news outlet IGN here. But you can see now that the bubble has burst. So going up here, you can see the peaks, and then now it's starting to valley as of today. Now it may go back up or it may keep going down. These volatile situations, you never know how they'll play out. It's always a gamble to participate in stuff like this. Keep that in mind. You may win big or lose big. Now, a lot of the hedge funds and various media outlets are trying to paint Wall Street Bets as this kind of rogue group, kind of villainous, as if they were doing something crazy and awful. But Wall Street Bets play the same game that Wall Street did. And in this case, in many ways, they won against some of these hedge funds by making them lose so much money. But beyond the fact that it's hypocritical to say that Wall Street Bets is being somehow villainous by engaging in what Wall Street has been doing for decades now, the fact of the matter is that plenty of people on Wall Street Bets are very charitable and are using some of their gains to donate and to contribute to society, which is more than you can say for the billionaires who hold on to their money and just want to add on more to that huge stockpile for no real good reason. It's money they'll never be able to spend, so they're just dicks. That's what it comes down to. But as far as some of the folks on Reddit goes, here's one example of someone who donated half of their AMC gains to their local children's hospital. And so here's a message that they got that reads, "Hey, you're awesome. Is it possible to say thank you enough? We don't think so, etc. $1,500 gift donated to Children's Hospital." Now, there are others who were more on brand with the whole GameStop situation and decided to donate video game consoles to Children's Hospital. So this is a Reddit post that reads, "I am proud to do my part in paying forward our good fortune with a donation of 6 Nintendo Switches and games to go with them to the Children's Minnesota Hospital. Can't stop, won't stop, GameStop." And you can see right here the Switches and games that were donated, and people down here paying compliments by saying the real Robin Hood. This is already way more than a lot of the rich people are willing to contribute with earnings from the stock market. For them, it's a money game. For people, for the average Joe, it is survival. And for them to get this kind of financial boost, for a lot of people, it was just a relief. People who were in debt, who, needed to pay off many things that they just simply couldn't afford at the time, are now able to. And because they know what it's like to struggle, they're giving back to organizations and entities that can provide aid, and children's hospitals obviously is a great cause to donate to, and no doubt they're going to make great use of all of these Nintendo Switches. But it's not just this one guy. Here's another story from Dallas. Used some of my GameStop attendees to buy Nintendo Switches from GameStop, then donated them to a children's hospital, got featured on the local news, and brought glory to Wall Street Bets. Indeed, here is the news covering that. North Texas investor uses GameStop gains to help sick children. This individual managed to donate and deliver 10 Nintendo Switches purchased from GameStop locations around the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And the CEO of that hospital, Jessica O'Neill, actually responded to this, stating, "Our child life specialists use a variety of tools to help our pediatric patients cope and heal in the face of critical illness. Video games obviously are used for entertainment and for relief for these children who may be sick. These new gaming systems will no doubt provide entertainment for our patients and help with the healing process during this challenging time. And then going back to this individual who donated to the Children's Minnesota Hospital, he was interviewed by ABC7 here, and one of the quotes that they got from him was, "As a beneficiary of the recent events on Wall Street, I think it is important that myself and others pay forward our good fortune. These events have highlighted a lot of corruption, and with this transfer of power, it is important that we don't become men in suits ourselves." And then scrolling down here, you'll find a quote from Jennifer Soderholm, president of Children's Minnesota Foundation, who responded to this whole situation by stating, "We're so grateful for this generous donation that will help bring joy to kids at our hospitals, especially during these challenging times. It's inspiring to see these young people in our community choosing to give back and pay it forward." And guess what? These switches are already being put to good use. The hospital said patients are already using the donations. There's no group of people more deserving of receiving a bunch of video games than some kids going through a hard time, said the investor. And he concluded things with this great statement: "If we're criticizing these people on Wall Street and moving the money from one side to the other side, it would be meaningless if we behave exactly like these people that we were criticizing." Well said. Isn't it crazy how the people who could actually use the money that they have are the ones who are actually contributing to society and giving back, while the rich, who have more money than they will ever use in their entire life, are the ones who are hoarding that money, pocketing it? I mean, these Redditors have already given back more to society than many of these companies and CEOs and executives have paid in taxes. And these are just a handful of people that are being reported on. I have little doubt that there were plenty more who donated in a similar manner by giving away money or by giving away consoles, giving away things that they bought with their earnings to give back. These are people who are actually being Robin Hood, taking from the rich, from all of these hedge funds, and contributing in some way to society by, even if these donations don't amount to, the millions and billions that the billionaires could actually give to the world, these switches are going to put some smiles on some kids' faces. These contributions will go a long way. And, communally, when you've got an army of millions on this Wall Street Bet subreddit coming together, and when these stories are being shared, that's going to inspire others to do the same. And these Reddit posts, you can see, they gained so many upvotes, 180,000 here. You've got 204,000 here, and this one has 42.4 thousand upvotes. So these tend to go up the charts on Wall Street Bets. They tend to be one of the top posts on the front page. And now that the subreddit has grown to 8.3 million degenerates, that kind of stuff is going to ripple, and hopefully more and more people will take their earnings and actually give back, as the rich should be doing, but many, of course, refuse to do so because many have forgotten or just don't know what it's like to live a regular life below the 1% mark. They don't know the struggles that come with that. A lot of these people understand that struggle. But yeah, I thought I would share this with you guys because Wall Street Bets, some are labeling them as a villainous group when I think they're just very, very passionate about sticking it to Wall Street. Actions speak louder than words, and some of these folks' actions certainly speak very loudly, and I commend them immensely. This is just really cool of them. And I hope everyone who benefited from GameStop will consider doing something similar. But that's just one man's take on the situation. Let me know in the comments below what you think about what's going on with GameStop and the brighter side of things with Wall Street Bets Redditors coming together to give back. So drop a comment, and to be further updated on all things gaming news, reviews, and discussions, stay tuned right here on Young Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Young out.